I'm going to do a quick little live, little concert, little talk. God bless the USA. God bless Charlie Kirk and his family. We can talk a little bit about that too. More money investing. How you doing, brother? Look, this concept that you call me a communist is more ridiculous than calling Commander 35 wealthy and rich. There is literally nothing about my life or my lifestyle that in any way has to do with a communist. You're talking about a guy who works, makes money, does very well for himself. Okay, I am probably the definition of a capitalist. I'm the definition of the American dream. Okay, seriously. I mean, I'm living a great life, guys. I don't have a boss. I make my own schedule. You understand? I have a beautiful house. I have a beautiful family. I go out to eat every night. I got to post some more videos. There's just no connection to what you guys are saying. And if you keep saying it, I do have to give you a break, because it's ridiculous. Listen to me, more money investing. I'm going to say the same thing I say to you that I say to Commander 35. You're doing so great in your life. Prove it. Okay, prove it. Okay, let's see your house. Let's see how you live. Let's, post dinners that you eat. Did you go on a $25,000 vacation? Do you eat $300 dinners? Do you have a house with a $25,000 in-ground pool? So you see I'm sorry, I said 25. Correction, $75,000 in-ground pool. That was a slip up. I apologize. Start showing us what you have, more money, okay? Because what Commander 35 does is he talks the talk, but he doesn't walk the walk. Commander 35, to me, is the definition of a psychopathic socialist, okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is a guy who probably, I'm going to say it's alleged, who probably collects government assistance, government checks. I mean, Commander 35 couldn't afford a Happy Meal, okay? He couldn't afford a Happy Meal, the guy. We know that guy, Dale. I remember one time he went to McDonald's. He bought a fish sandwich. He couldn't afford to buy an actual meal where you get a soda and you get fries. He bought the single fish sandwich. So once again, it's like more money investing. If you want a definition of capitalism, show us. Show us what you got going on. But for you to criticize a guy who's got a $700,000 house, a $75,000 in-ground pool, just spent $25,000 on a vacation, eats out every night, has no boss, makes his own schedule, then you got to start talking the talk and you got to walk the walk. You have to. You see, what I don't like about people is this. Like, I was in a bar one time. I'm going to tell you a little story. And there's a guy who weighs like 400 pounds, eating like a pizza pie, eating like all kinds of food with chicken wings, and he's criticizing professional athletes. He's looking at the TV. You suck, he says. You suck. But this is a guy who couldn't probably, forget about run, he probably couldn't even friggin' crawl, this guy. Okay, but he's going to criticize professional athletes. I don't mind when people have criticism. Listen to me, I don't mind when people have criticism. But if you're going to have criticism, like here's an example. People say to me, Apefather, you can't sing. Like, let's just I'll give you a few examples. Okay, let's hear you sing. You know what I mean? Apefather, you can't play the piano. Let's hear you play the piano, okay? Like example, like let's say you say to me, I can't play the piano, okay? But I do something like this. I'll give you an example. I just like a quick example. Apefather, you can't play the piano, okay? But then I do something like this. So for you to say, Apefather, you can't play the piano, let's hear you do that. Show me. I'm just saying, but is that not a fair point? More money investing. You don't feel that's a fair point. If you're going to criticize someone, okay, then you have to prove to the person you're criticizing, and also I would think to the whole audience that you could do things better. Okay, so I'm an unemployed bum, correct, according to you? Okay, More Money Investing says I am an unemployed bum. So show us your house, okay? Show us the way you live. Start making videos on the way you live. Like let's see. Do you go on vacations? Do you eat out at restaurants? What is your form of entertainment? Let's start seeing things. But if you're not going to show anything, then shut the F-U-C-K up. Because it means either one of two things. You are a psychopath, Norman Bates lunatic, or you're no better than Commander 35, who obviously is broke. This guy, on his best day, could have come up with a friggin' Andrew Jackson. On his best day. He doesn't have 20 bucks to his name. So I'm not trying to be a jerk off, but either deliver the goods or just be quiet. That's the way I see it. More Money Investing, prove to me that you could outdo me. Okay, look, I've had this conversation. Look, I consider you a hater now. Listen to me. I consider you a hater. Okay, to me, you are a full-blown hater. We've had these conversations before with haters. They wanted to outdo me. They never did. Okay, they never did. I gave Commander 35 many opportunities to outdo me. He has failed every single time. Many, many times I gave him opportunities. Okay, I'll give you the same opportunities. If you could outdo me, then outdo me. Prove it. But if you can't, then you need to, Zod, kneel before Zod, mother effer. That's it, very simple. See, look, you don't have the right to criticize a person that you cannot do a better job. That's it. You can't do it. That's not the way life works. And if you had any intelligence, you would understand that, but obviously you don't. Once again, More Money Investing, we could keep going back and forth. Show us your house. Start making videos on how you live. Look, I've made over 42,000 videos, and I would say probably 50% of them is me eating at restaurants, spending in excess of $200-$300. Start doing that. Okay, and it doesn't have to be, if restaurants are not your thing, look, everybody's got something that they like. Maybe your thing is luxury cars. Maybe your thing is, whatever. I know you talk about clothes, so then maybe you have luxury clothes. Start showing things. Just start showing your lifestyle. Start showing things. But if you can't do it, then you got to just be quiet. Stop criticizing someone who's obviously doing pretty good. I'm not trying to sound like I'm a show off, but I think I'm living a pretty good life. I don't think I'm living a terrible life. You're making it seem like I'm the lowest form of freaking dog shit. I mean, how do you say that about a guy who's doing pretty well? Okay, so that's all I got to say. Listen, it's not just about money. So what is it about? Family? Got more money investing. I was blessed to have the most beautiful wife in the world. We were married for 20 years. Understand something. Me and my wife had the perfect marriage. We loved each other very much. My mother and me, best friends. We had the most amazing life. Okay? I have the most amazing 2 children. So if you're talking about like family, I have a wonderful family. Okay, see, once again, see now it goes into like the lies that I'm eating government money. Look, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I just got to give you guys breaks because obviously at the restaurants that I eat at, this is not government assistance. This is just you guys hating once again. This is you guys being jealous. That's it. Okay, so we're gonna give Fat Tony a little break here because look, one thing is not. Let me tell you what it is. I don't like it when people lie. I don't mind. Look, everybody has the right to an opinion. You understand? If you don't like me, you don't have to like me. There's no law that you have to like me. But for you to say I'm on government assistance when you see where I eat and you see how I live, it's blatant lies. It's blatant lies, and I just don't want to deal with it. Like, why should I subject myself on my own YouTube channel to listen to people lie about me? So I don't want to do it. No, I understand Valor, but just I don't like. Listen, let's get back into Charlie Kirk. Let's talk about him, okay? This is the stuff that goes on in politics, and unfortunately, it led to violence, and it's a terrible, terrible thing. People in the left, people in the left make up a lot of lies. Okay, they don't like someone, they don't like President Trump. What do? They lie. They lie. They say, oh, this guy favors Nazis. He's like Adolf Hitler. He's dividing the country. Okay, because they can't beat the guy. They can't beat President Trump like, fair. They can't do it. So they create lies. But what's happening is that I think when people lie enough, they start believing in the lies. And that 22-year-old kid that destroyed his life maybe was one of them who just believed in lies and destroyed his whole life. He destroyed his whole life. And I think that's what's happening in the world of politics. People start believing in lies. And I see it happen in my life. I watch all of these lunatic haters, just continuously lie about me. Like I was a bad husband. I was the greatest husband. I gave my wife, Jennifer, the most amazing life. Okay, we were in love. We were best friends. She was my soulmate. Okay, did we do little comic skits together because we loved the honeymooners? Like, she was like my Alice. I was like Ralph Cramden, Jackie Gleason. She was Audrey Meadows. Listen, we did little comedy skits, but people want to take the comedy skits that we did and they want to turn it into real life. It was jokes. It was jokes. But you see, this is the thing. This is what haters do. Everything with haters. They create these fantasies. Oh, you're living off your wife. You're living off your mother. This, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy shit. I worked this sales job for 20 years. The only reason why I became my wife's caretaker was at her request. It was her request. Richard, I can't do things anymore like I used to. I need you to be home full time, honey. I need you to be home full time so that you could help me, raise the kids, take care of me. I was working a sales job. I was making 6 figures a year, high 6 figures. And it's just, I got to listen to you, Mama Lukes, judging me because my wife had stage 4 breast cancer and I decided to leave my sales career and be there for her starting in 2017. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I just don't want to hear it. You guys are psychos, Norman Bates, lunatics. I know, but Valor, I try to be a transparent person. I try to be someone that keeps it real. And I just don't appreciate it when people make up lies because I feel I'm very transparent. And Mo Money Investing knows this. I think he lost his mind, this guy. I think you completely went crazy. Okay, me and you used to agree upon Lou because Lou wasn't transparent. Again, may Lou rest in peace, okay? But we both had the same thing. Lou talked a lot of shit, but he wasn't transparent. But I'm transparent. I tell everybody everything about me, and then you're going to create make-believe stories about me when I'm the most transparent YouTuber probably that ever existed? I'm the most transparent YouTuber that ever existed. And then you're going to make up stories. And that's why, and that's what happened with Charlie Kirk, is that this guy was great. This guy let everybody speak. This guy, it didn't matter. You could be the most craziest mother effer in the world, and he gave you a platform to speak your mind. But, he stood his ground. He stood his ground on American traditional values, and I love the guy, and I respect everything about him. But, people, I guess, can't handle it. They can't handle it, and the guy got assassinated. It's terrible that this is the way this world is. It's filled with all these people who want you to accept their lifestyles, and they want to teach children in school this alternative lifestyles, and it's something that we don't want. Majority of Americans don't want it. We don't want our children to believe certain things. Okay, like I don't want my children to believe it's okay that you're 15 years old to chop off your friggin' penis. I'm sorry, that's crazy. We don't want that. If somebody chooses they want to be a woman, you're born a man, you understand? You're Bob, but you say, I want to put on a dress. Okay, you could do that. Listen, people have the right to do that, okay? But the thing is, should these people now compete in women's sports? Should they go into the women's bathrooms and women's locker rooms? No. You know what I mean? So it's like, we could talk about so many different things. I could go over every single thing. That's what I loved about Charlie Kirk, is that he kept it real. I loved him. May he rest in peace. He was a great patriot. Why don't you just tell the truth? I do tell the truth. You don't accept it. It's not your problem. I do tell the truth. What do I lie about, Mo Money Investing? Tell me. Give me an example of something I lie about. Come on, let's talk about it. What do I lie about? What do I lie about? Give me an example. Give me an example. Yes, Lou, rest in peace. I don't lie about anything. What do I lie about? What do I lie about? Give me an example. What do I lie about? Tell me. What do I lie about? I'm still waiting. Give me an example. Tell me the things I lie about. Business. What's the lie? That I own a business? That I have a side business? It's not a lie. I have a side business. Okay, that's it. I have a side business. It's not a lie. Okay? If you choose to not believe that, that's your prerogative. Okay? That's your right. It's your constitutional. Mo Money Investing. I have been in, look, Mo Money Investing. I've been in sales for 20 years. I have an amazing sales ability. I'll tell you what. Come to my house one day. I'll tell you what. You want me to prove it to you? Okay. Come to my house one day. This is what we're going to do. Listen to me. Come out with me on a sales call. Okay. I will walk it. You pick a random business. Listen, you want proof? Okay. I'm not going to tell you the name of my business. I'm not going to do that because, bro, you already leaked my phone number. So I'm not going to do that. I don't trust you. Okay. But here's what I will do for you. Pick a random business. You will watch me work. I will go into a business owner. I will walk into a store. I will pitch the store. Listen, I will pitch the store, and if I get money out of the store, you witness it with your own eyes. A business owner gives me money, then what are you going to say at that point? What are you going to say to me? What are you going to say? I give you that opportunity. I'm giving you an opportunity. I will be willing to go on a sales call and show you my sales ability since you don't believe me, since you think I'm full of shit. So I will give you a real life opportunity. I will walk into a local business. I'll pitch the local business. If you see me succeed and actually sell that person, I'm not crashing out. Listen, people are calling me a liar. They're calling me a liar. How am I crashing out? I'm giving them the opportunity to see me work. I do look like Tony Soprano. Look, Mo Money Investing, stop changing the subject. I gave you an opportunity, okay? I gave you an opportunity. So now either you accept the opportunity or you don't accept the opportunity. Okay, that's it. You're gonna continue to deflect. You're gonna continue to change the subject. Look, I give a lot of haters opportunities. Perfect example is Commander 35. Many, many times the guy's saying he's a multimillionaire. I said, go withdraw $20,000. He couldn't do it. I did it. He couldn't do it, okay? Commander 35 claims he's a millionaire. I say, you're a millionaire. What do you have, like a Lamborghini, something? I told him, drive to my house. I'll come outside to say hello. Let me see your Lamborghini. He never comes to my house in a Lamborghini. I see him driving a car that's probably older than me, okay? That's probably smells like shit, okay? So listen, Bottom line is this: I give haters the opportunity to prove themselves. They don't do it. Well, right now we're talking about a lot of different conversations. More money investing, you're deflecting. You're deflecting. Every local business owner will not know me. I have a very select, clientele. Okay, I have a very select clientele. So does every single local business know me? The answer is no. Okay, and I'm certainly not going to tell you my clients. I'm not, but what I will do is pick a company that's not a client and I'll show you that I could sell because you're telling me I can't earn money, right? So in other words, you're saying to me every local business has got to know me? Is that what is that your point? Every local business has to know who I am? That's crazy. And even if they did know who I am, they're not going to tell you, Mama Luke. They're not going to tell you. I'm not going to get into my business. There's too many haters here. I'm not going to tell you anything about my services. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. Just not going to do it. Unfortunately, this is another reason I have to protect Megan, because you guys are all lunatics. Anyway. I don't know who this psychopath is, but let's get rid of him. Let's just erase this comment. More money investing. I don't want to talk about this no more. It's a waste of conversation. It's a waste of conversation. I love the blues, baby. I love the blues. So we're going to be doing some music. Thank you, Colin. Thank you very much. Thank you, Strong Foundation. Thank you. Yeah, I'll sing a song for you guys. This one is called, hey, what's up there, Twisted? This one's called Lover's Game. It's a really funky blues, yeah. You always know how I feel inside, even if I don't say a word. Your sarcastic smile, laughing eyes, acting so absurd. When I'm mad, trying to hide it all from you, but I can't. You always see right through. This is how we play our lover's game. Play our lover's game. You always know just what to say to make all my troubles go away, or how to talk you into feeling bad when I was wrong in a way. You give me love when I'm in the mood for it. You drive me crazy and you never quit. This is how we play our lover's game. We play our lover's game. but I can't. You always see right through. This is how we play. Our love is game. It's an original funky blues song. It's called Love is Game. Thank you very much. Thank you, Master Yoshi. Once again, see, someone's criticizing my singing. Everyone's so critical in this world. Thank you, Twisted. Thank you, Twisted T. Let me see the fingers playing those notes. Okay, I'll give you a little example here. There you go. That's me playing the notes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Look, I don't think I'm a good singer. I tell people all the time, I would much rather have like Sting singing, some of the songs I write, Steve Perry from Journey. I don't consider myself a singer. I'm a piano player, I consider myself a piano player first and foremost, but I sing for fun. I always tell people, do you have to be LeBron James if you want to play basketball? Do you have to be Michael Jordan, number 23, if you want to know, right? So it's like, if I want to sing, why not? You know what I mean? What's the big deal? I can't sing for fun, but no, I'm a piano player first and foremost. How old were you when you first started playing? 10 years old. Twisted T. I was 10 years. See, I'm a jazz piano player. I'm a jazz blues. Like, here, I'll show you. I'll do an instrumental. This is something I wrote called Funk a la Richie. I wrote this. My favorite piano player, may he rest in peace, was Chick Corea. I was trying to sound like the great Chick Corea. The great Chick Corea. That's the song called Funk a la Richie. God bless all the children in Gaza, yes. What do I think of Charlie Kirk's death? I think it's a disgrace. I think that this country has a lot of problems. And I really, really think that people need to stop doing certain things because it's really pissing me off, man. The biggest thing people need to stop doing is if you don't like somebody, okay, there's two things you shouldn't do, okay? Don't lie about the person. You shouldn't do it. You have the right to not like somebody. Listen, that's what makes America the greatest country in the world. If you don't like someone, you don't have to vote for someone. But don't lie about people. Don't lie. And then also this violence. It's like if you can't beat somebody, do you have to resort to violence? That's what this country has come to. It's like, you can't beat President Trump. You can't beat him. They try to assassinate him. It's crazy. It's just so listen, that's just how I feel. I feel what happened in the case of Charlie, Charlie Kirk, is that people disagreed with his views. That's it. And a lot of it was based on lies. A lot of it was trying to put this guy like in the lowest like category, like that he's a racist. And this guy was not a racist. This guy was probably the most greatest guy in the world. He gave everybody a chance to talk, their opinions, their feelings on things, and he always had fair debates with people. He let people make their points, he made their points, and never did he ever come across like a person who was a racist. But this is what a lot of the left does. The left tries to paint pictures of people and make them out to be bad people. Make them, out to be horrible people. They do it with President Trump. It's the truth, man. It's the truth. Guys, keep it real. That's all I'm saying to you. You don't like like even me. You want to know what my haters do with me? Okay. They don't like me, a lot of haters, right? So what they do is they make up lies about me. They actually, like to the point where my wife just passed away. I'll give you an example. My beautiful wife, Jennifer, after a 10-year battle with cancer, my beautiful, beautiful wife passed away. You have no idea. My two children, Michael and my daughter Sophia, they lost their mom. 2 weeks later, their grandmother passed away. And you know what they're trying to do, these psychos? They're telling me, oh, what did you do? You shut the oxygen off on your mother? What did you do? You killed your mother? These people are lunatics, these haters. Absolute psychopathic nut jobs. And they make videos about it, and they all comment on the videos. And this is what, I hate to say it, but this is what goes on in our country. This is what goes on in our country. I'm talking about me right now. I'm talking about my life, okay? What goes on in this country is someone doesn't like you. They thank you very much. They create these disgusting lies about you. It's terrible. They're like, oh, you had a terrible marriage with your wife. Your wife didn't love you. My wife loved me more than anything in the world. We had the perfect marriage. My wife and me were married 20 years. I know her 27 years. My beautiful wife, Jennifer, loved me with all her heart and soul, loved her children, the greatest mother, the greatest wife that ever lived. This is when we were young. I always show this picture here. This is right before 9/11. My wife worked at 2 World Trade Center. It's unfortunately how she got breast cancer due to working during 9/11 and working in the lower, Wall Street area. The toxins in the air, the smoke. Thank you so much. God bless you, CeeLo. But the thing is, instead of people being a gentleman like you, okay, you know what people do? They try to hurt me. They try to, they create all these lies. They're like, oh, you are a terrible father. I'm the greatest father. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mako. I'm the greatest father. I'm left now as a single dad with 2 children. You understand? And I take care of them. I was there from them for my whole life. I'm going to continue. It's never going to stop. They're my two angels. I love my kids. They're my whole world. I want to make my beautiful wife proud, my mother, Josephine, her grandchildren proud. I'm going to give them the greatest life in the world. I'm going to make sure they have the best education. I'm always going to be there for them. And, we just came back from a wonderful vacation in Florida. I took them to Epic Universe. I took them to all the beaches and all the theme parks. We had a wonderful time. Thank you, CeeLo. Fat Tony, I block people when people go too far. Okay? You don't have the right, listen to me. Thank you so much, Twisted Tea. You don't have the right to make up lies about me. Okay? See, that's not, look, freedom of speech. I'll just tell you, I understand that you feel like freedom of speech, you have the right to lie. You don't have the right to lie, man. That's just, look, I'm the biggest patriot in the world. But you guys don't have the right to say, I killed my mother, you psychopathic lunatics. And I'm supposed to sit here and listen to it when the 2 most important people in my life passed away? Tell me what's a lie. Like you're accusing me of killing my mother, you psycho. You got that psychopathic American dream saying all kinds of disgusting shit. I don't even want to repeat it. But this is what you haters say. You guys go too far. Okay? So when you go too far and you're out of line, I don't want to deal with it. Why should I deal with it? Okay? But if you have a friendly listen, if you have a friendly conversation with me, I'm not going to silence you. Like, see, in the case of Charlie Kirk, listen, when he was having debates, he let people speak their mind. That's called a normal debate. If we're having a normal debate, I wouldn't silence anyone. It's very sad what happened to him. It's very, very sad. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. God bless Charlie Kirk. Let's do a God Bless America for Charlie Kirk. This one's for you, Charlie. God bless Charlie Kirk. If people are fair with the Apefather, I'm fair back. Okay? But when people make up all kinds of lies, horrible, despicable lives, you guys have no hearts. You have no compassion for the hurt that my family is going through. Thank you so much, Twisted Tea. I'll show you the 2 songs I wrote for my beautiful wife, Jennifer, and my mom, Josephine, if you're new to the channel. Now I sing a little bit on it. If you don't like my singing, I apologize, but I still am going to sing anyway. This is the song I wrote for my wife. It's called Jennifer. I'm still getting over a little sore throat here, but this is the song I wrote for my mom, Josephine. Josephine, you were there to guide me. You were there beside me, and I can count on you. Josephine, you're the inspiration, and you are my best friend, now until the end. Years passed us by, and I realize how much I've learned from you. Mistakes I made, you showed me the way to make it all brand new. Josephine, you were there to guide me. You were there beside me, and I can count on you. Still getting over that sore throat, but thank you guys. Janet, what's up there? My wife passed away February 21st of this year. 2 weeks later, my mom, Josephine, passed away. God bless them. Thank you so much, everybody. But I really wanted to talk a lot about Charlie Kirk, and about what's going on in our country. So we'll take a little break from the music. What I've been noticing that's been happening a lot, I don't know, I'll say it's alleged, but that YouTuber David Pakman, I don't know, I heard that he was getting paid by the left. I don't know if this is true. Thousands of dollars to push their propaganda. I don't know. I'll say it's alleged. I'm going to say it's alleged, but a lot of people have been saying it online. I don't know if it's true, so it's not confirmed. I'll say it's alleged. Thank you, Asilo. But it just goes to show you that there are people that could be potentially, pushing a certain narrative, okay, to just mine basically FUCK people, okay, into believing shit that's not real, and I think that's what happens a lot. It's like, think about it. It's like the same thing is happening to me, Look, there's nothing that is, Fat Tony, this is all make-believe stuff that you guys are creating, okay? This is all make-believe stuff. I am the most patriotic man out there, okay? I am so big into capitalism. I am so big into freedom of speech. The problem with you guys is you think freedom of speech is saying I killed my mother. That's what you believe freedom of speech is. And then you'll say I'm a communist because I'm not going to allow you to say disgusting, degrading comments. Okay, that's not being a socialist, my friend. It's called respect. See, you guys have no respect. You have no respect. Zero respect. What does public record mean? Look, guys, I don't want to talk about my finances. This is what you people do. Just mind your business, guys. Seriously, just mind your business. It's all this concept, I'm stealing money from my children's trust fund. You guys are psychopathic lunatics. On the record, I never touched my children's, trust fund. It's like, this is all stuff, guys, this is all stuff that you create. This is all false narratives. And this is what's happening in the world of politics. This is what's happening, is that people create false narratives. And a lot of people believe in it. They believe in it. And it's causing a lot. I already went over this with you guys, okay? Many, many years ago. I never changed it. Many years ago, listen, President Trump was a Democrat, okay? Fat Tony, let me educate you. President Trump was a registered Democrat many, many years ago. New York is primarily a Democratic state. I lived in New York. It's the truth. I mean, he's laughing. Look it up. President Trump was a Democrat. Look it up. You could laugh all you want to laugh. He even admitted it. I'm hilarious. Look it up. No, but this is what I'm saying with these people. It's like, I'm just making a point to you. That doesn't mean anything, okay? I changed my stance over the years, okay? I changed my stance. There was a time where I felt certain Democratic people, I thought I was wishing for good things. I was rooting for them. But it's the truth. But then I changed my stance, okay? So what does it mean? It's like, I swear on everything that's holy that I voted for Donald Trump. Okay, 100%. Every single time, baby. Trump all the way, and I'll continue to do it. But is that all you got on me, that I was a registered Democrat at one time? That makes me a communist? That people are calling me a communist. You people are lunatics. You people are psychos. There's nothing about me that's a communist, guys. I work very hard. I do very well for myself. I take care of my children. I'm a wonderful father. Okay, so I just don't want to listen to your nonsense anymore. You guys are lunatics, crazy psychopathic people. But let's get back to Charlie Kirk. What I respected about him the most was that he gave everyone a platform to speak, even people that were the most psychotic people, like you haters. He gave them a platform to speak, and he let them speak their minds. A lot of times they made absolutely no sense, and he would win the debates. You know, let's talk a little bit, like which subject do you want to talk about? Pick. Let's pick a political conversation, and we could talk about it. What topic you want to talk about? Pick something, and I'll tell you my opinion on it. I think the biggest thing that affected me, the biggest thing, Medicaid. What do you want to know about Medicaid? Some people, okay, let's talk about Medicaid. There are some people out there who, at no fault of their own, okay, get ill, okay, at no fault of their own. And yeah, I'm going to talk about men and women sports next. If someone, you know, gets cancer, like let's give an example. If someone gets cancer, but they worked their whole lives, okay, but then they couldn't work anymore because of an illness, do you feel that they shouldn't get medical insurance now because they no longer could work? Is that your opinion? See, like let's take my wife Jennifer as an example. I'm not saying to you because we had private insurance, but I'll take an example of Jennifer. Jennifer worked her whole life. She worked her whole life. She worked for the New York Stock Exchange. She worked her whole life. And then when she got cancer and then it turned into stage 4 cancer, she couldn't work anymore. So what is your view on that? What is your view? So your view is if someone gets an illness of no fault of their own, that they should not, get insurance. So there is cases where people abuse Medicaid. There is now, and again, my wife wasn't on Medicaid, but I'm just making a point to you. There are people that abuse Medicaid. Okay, they lie. They're making money where it's not documented money, and they lie, and then they get this. There are a lot of people who abuse it, but there are people who need it. Okay, so that's my view on Medicaid. Okay, if you're abusing it, you're the lowest form of trash that lives. If you're abusing it, okay. If you need it and you've earned it, then God bless. That's my stance on that. As far as women, well, men and women sports, let's talk about that. Real Aqua brought that up. So look, this is really not rocket science. Okay, it's not rocket science. If you were born a man, let's call him, your name was Bob, okay? And then you decided that you want to become a woman. You're not really becoming a woman. You're always going to be a man. I don't care if you chop off, your sausage. You could chop off your sausage. You could put yourself in friggin' high heels. You could wear a dress, put lipstick on. You are a man. You have the power of a man. How could you feel it's justifiable for this person to compete in women's sports? It doesn't make any sense. Of course, he didn't deserve to die that way. Of course not. God bless him. It's terrible what happened. It's a disgrace what happened. That 22-year-old kid destroyed his whole life. It's over for him. He destroyed his whole life. Your language proves your lack of education on the topic. What's my lack of education? Why should someone who's born a man compete in women's sports? Can someone explain it to me? You have the strength of a man. You have an advantage over every woman. It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. You understand? It's not a fair competition. You're a man. I mean, whoever agrees that, listen to me, vegan Steve, any which way you twist this, a man has an advantage in terms of strength. Okay, and look, I don't want to. I'm not going to. One thing about me is this. Okay, you can't debate something with me that there is like absolutely no logical. This is a slam dunk conversation. If someone is a man, born a man, they're not a woman. This should be a slam dunk debate. And if you're arguing with me, you're either a psychopathic Norman Bates lunatic, okay, or I don't know, you fell off a tree as a kid. There's something wrong with you. If someone is a man, they should not compete in women's sports. It's nuts. That's a cycle. Whoever believes this is out of their mind. This is a person who has an obvious advantage. It's an obvious advantage. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's crazy, man. There's no debate. There's no debate. If someone is a man, they should not be competing in women's sports. But not when it's a factor of strength. Okay, not when it's a factor of strength. Like it's like a weightlifting contest. Would you at least agree to that? Would you at least agree to that? Or like if it's a sport that like boxing. Let me ask you a question, vegan Steve, right? Would you have a guy who was born a man box a woman and you would be okay with that? You would be okay with that? No, but I'm asking you, let me ask you a question, vegan Steve. Would you put a guy who's a man, born a man, turns into a woman, would you allow him to box a woman if they both agree? So what happens when he knocks the girl out at one punch? How do you feel about that? The girl's laid out. One punch. Is that a fair competition? Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway. So let's talk about what I loved about Charlie Kirk was this. He asked this question. Let's talk about this. What is a woman? Like if you had to define what a woman is. What do you guys feel? We just talked about this, Jay. We just talked about this, and I'm not repeating it. I'm not repeating it. Okay. My wife had a very special insurance that was done through the World Trade Center. I don't have to justify shit to you freaking haters. Okay. I don't have to justify shit. She had special insurance because she contracted breast cancer of no fault of her own. And again, this is the conversation that I was trying to have with that guy, Fat Tony. My wife worked her whole life. Okay, she worked her whole life. She contracted cancer of no fault of her own. In a case like that, my wife should be entitled to certain help. Okay, and that's what I was trying to say. There are people who abuse certain things, and there are people who legitimately should get certain things. And that's my stance on it. I don't want to keep repeating myself. Okay, I don't want to keep repeating myself. If you are abusing a program, you are a piece of shit. If you are my wife did not abuse the program. My wife contracted cancer that turned to stage 4 cancer that ultimately took her life of no fault of her own. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Okay, but that doesn't make me a socialist, you piece of shit. That doesn't make me a communist. My wife worked her whole life, paid taxes, did everything right by the book. Okay? Can we drop the subject now? So moving along. Thank you. And I'm not, when I say piece of shit, I'm talking to haters, by the way. I'm not talking to all of you good people out there. I'm talking to haters. I do work and I pay taxes. What's up, Karina? I was in sales for 20 years. 20 years I've been in sales. And by the way, I know none of you accept this, but YouTube is a job. I get paid, okay, by YouTube every single month. Now, a lot of people will argue, well, you're not making that much money on YouTube. But what is the definition ultimately of a job? A job is you get paid, Obviously, it could be you're an independent contractor or you could be on a salary, right? It doesn't really, specify a job that you have to make a certain amount of money. In other words, YouTube has the potential over time to make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money in YouTube. Okay, but just like any other job, you have to put the time in. I'm willing to put the time in to build up, an audience. I'm willing to put the time in to build up my subscribers, and I believe in time I will become a successful YouTuber. But this is a job. I just want to be clear to everyone. I am working right now. This is a job. You may not consider it a job because you feel I don't earn enough money. But again, there are jobs that take years to establish yourself. Sell me a sock. I pay for my own health insurance, Fat Tony. Labor for money is a job. Exactly. What sales? I worked everything: real estate, timeshare. I worked for online platforms. I've done everything you could imagine in sales. But I just answered the question. I work for some of the biggest corporations in the world. Guys, there's nothing, don't let these haters make you feel that there's anything. I am a wonderful father. I give my children an amazing life. We have a beautiful home in the Jersey Shore. We just came back from a beautiful vacation in Florida. No, but just say, don't make these haters. They're gonna try to paint me as this bad person. I'm not. I was the most wonderful husband, the most wonderful son, and the most wonderful father. These people are just jealous assholes because they can't understand. They just don't understand why I'm always eating out at restaurants. I have a beautiful home. I have a great life. They don't get it, but that's their problem, you know. So what else? I'm never going to leave Amy and Gabby, but I really don't want to talk about AMC, CeeLo. Not financial advice, not a financial planner. I'm not, I don't really feel like talking about, Amy and Gabby right now. Let's talk about politics. What other issue do we want to talk about? So we talked about men and women's sports. We touched on Medicaid. What else do we want to talk about in politics? Biden and the Democrats opening the border. It became a major problem. It became a major, major problem. Like 20 million illegal immigrants entered our country. It led to so much. You want to talk about violence and innocent people passing away. It's horrible what they did. It's horrible. And President Trump had to take extreme action, and he's doing a wonderful, wonderful job. Protecting our country and getting all of these criminals out of the country. And that's what you have to do. It's very, very simple. I believe people should come into this country, but they need to come into this country through a legal process. That's it. They have to come through a legal process. You can't have people just coming into this country. I was actually watching this video with Elon Musk talking about it, And Elon Musk was like, I always hear about people coming into the country illegally. And he goes, he had to go down to the border to see it for himself. And he saw how easy people were coming into the country. It was absolutely crazy. He couldn't believe his eyes, Elon Musk. And that's why, we needed the wall. That's why we need border security. That's why we need so much stuff. We need, Donald Trump, President Trump is doing what is required to protect America. But the Biden administration let everybody in. They let tens of millions of illegal immigrants into our country, and now the problem is being rectified. I mean, I do believe that. Yes, Real Aqua. I do believe that. I do believe that. I do believe that. So what other subject is on the table? I love the way that Charlie Kirk debated. He was such a powerful debater. He left people like speechless. He was one of the great debaters of all time. All I can say, CeeLo, is it ain't over until it's over. That's what I have to say. It ain't over until it's over. He made a very interesting point. Let's talk about this for a second. There was this African American student. There was this African American student, and he was telling Charlie Kirk, there was a debate that they were having, and he was just saying how he feels that he doesn't have the same opportunities, as anybody else because he's African American. He says that he feels that everywhere he goes, people look at him as he's a criminal, and he feels that there's no way that someone who's African American could get the same job that someone who's like white and privileged and all this stuff. Um, this is what I have to say about this. Okay, I actually think that people of minority, like races, they have obvious advantages over someone who's white. They really do. I mean, let's face the facts. They get jobs a lot easier because of that, and they have the same opportunities as everybody else. It makes me sick that they keep bringing up slavery, like slavery. It's like enough with slavery. You know what I mean? We're past all of that. You have the same opportunities. You know what I mean? You have the same opportunities. Go out there, get a great education, make good choices in your life, work hard, and you could have the American dream. And people got to stop using like slavery as this I'm just tired of it. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing it over and over and over again. The Jewish race, you don't ever hear them complaining. They're doing great. Look at what they went through in their lives with the Holocaust. Look at what they've been through. Okay. And they own like everything. Okay. They're doing great. So people got to stop using the past as a way to stop their future. Okay. That's the bottom line. No, but that's what I'm trying to say. But you still hear people talking about this stuff today, you know? So, what other subjects are there? Tell me. What other subjects are there? What do you want to talk about? Abortion? What do you want to talk about? I don't believe that a woman, you know, has the right. Okay, even now, I'm going to say something. Being a person who believes in pro life, but I'm pro life with major exceptions. I'm pro life, but pro life with exceptions. If a woman gets raped, guys, if a woman gets raped, she should have the right, I think, to get an abortion. Even though I believe in pro life, I also believe in women's choices. If a woman got raped, why should she be forced to have that baby? I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. But the thing is, have an abortion very quickly. If she's gonna make it go to term, no, then you can't have an abortion. You can't do it. You got to do that. You got to do that right, but you got to do it quickly, Karita. You got to do it quickly. You can't wait 8 months and then you say, well, I want to get an abortion because that now it's murder. You know what I mean? That's murder. You got to do it quickly, like the first trimester. You got to do it very, very quickly. So that's how I feel about that. You know what I mean? What other subjects are there? It has to be done quickly. Um, what else you want to talk about? I don't know about that. That's terrible, Joe. Do you love God? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm angry at God right now in my life because my wife Jennifer passed away, only 46 years old. I wish I could have one day when I pass away. I would like to ask God questions if He gives me the opportunity. I just don't understand why my beautiful wife was only 46 years old and had to pass away. And then 2 weeks later, well, he's the manufacturer. He's the manufacturer. He has the divine plan. He has the divine plan. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel. He has the divine plan. But thank you. But like for you to say he had no idea that that was going to happen, he didn't know that my wife was going to pass away at 46. He didn't know 2 weeks later that I was going to lose my mother. She was going to pass away. I just would like to ask God, like, why he felt that we had to lose everything. Like, you know what I mean? Why did we have to lose our entire family in 2 weeks? Was that part of the divine plan? I just don't understand it. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying he knew about it. I went down the wrong pipe. I'm not blaming anybody. But for you to say he didn't know about it, right? Is that your argument? He didn't know about it? He had no idea that it was going to happen? He has a divine plan. People actually say it's God's will when things happen. Don't question God because, in other words, God, for whatever reason, he felt that had to be done. My wife had to pass away. My mother passed away. It was God's will. It was God's will. But for you to, but that's what people try to say. They say he doesn't know. No, he definitely knows about it. So I just would like, I guess I have questions for God. I have questions. I would like to ask him why he felt that was necessary. Because my daughter is only 11. She's going to be 12 in January. My son's only 14. They really, really loved and needed their mom and their grandmother. So I just would like him to explain it to me. 46 years old is too young. It's too young. I know we all have a destiny, but I guess I don't understand why someone so young has to pass away when they're needed so much on earth. My wife was needed so much. The children needed her so much, Karina. You have no idea. This is a hard life for us. This is a very, very hard life. Thank you, CeeLo. I am devastated. And I've made a lot of mistakes ever since my wife and my mom passed away. I made a lot of people took advantage of me. A lot of people took advantage of my vulnerability because I was very vulnerable. And a lot of people, she had breast cancer that was caused from 9/11. You see, once again, here's a hater starting it with me for absolutely no reason. This psychopathic guy, Detective Pikachu. I'll give you 5 minutes to calm down. So what else do we want to talk about? You want to talk about God? What do you want? What's the subject? Well, you got rid of him, Karina. That's fine. What do you want to talk about? What's the next subject? One day I'll get the answers when it's my time. Hopefully I'll see my wife and my mom again when it's my time. I miss them both very much. Well, this is what the problem is with a lot of these left media, is that they're poisoning youth with lies. That's really what the biggest thing is that, like, there's a lot of lies out there. And that's why Trump calls it the fake news. There's a reason why President Trump calls it the fake news because unfortunately, there's too many lies. The problem is that these lies are leading to violence. They're leading to violence because a lot of people are getting wrongful information and they're believing it. And they start hating people. They start hating people. And if someone is hating someone based on a lie, that's very dangerous. And I actually think that there should be laws. Journalists get off the hook very easy. They really, really get off the hook. I actually think that if you lie and your lies result in a death, like what happened to Charlie Kirk, because you realize that was all politically motivated. You realize it, right? And I believe that there are certain people that should be potentially held responsible, for publishing lies and for, all of these false like narratives and all this propaganda and all this crazy shit that goes on. It's poisoning the youth of our country. It's poisoning a lot of people. So that's my opinion on it. You know, journalists have a responsibility to publish the truth. They have a responsibility to publish the truth. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. That's that, like if you want me to give you one example, yes, I live in the USA. You want me to give you an example? Okay. Let's talk about Charlottesville. Let's talk about President Trump when they basically said that Trump was like, they compared him to Adolf Hitler. They compared him to, he loves Nazis. He favors Nazis. Obviously, this was not what happened. Okay. He made a point that both sides, he said had fair points. Both sides, not just one side, but both sides, because it's like, look, it's like, yeah, you had one side that had a permit to be there. They actually had a permit. And I don't believe in Robert E. Lee. I'm not saying I didn't believe in slavery. I don't. But the thing is that people have the right to protest peacefully, right? No matter what your belief is, you have the right to protest peacefully. Then you had the other side that didn't have a permit. You know what I mean? And a lot of there was violence on both sides, and that's all President Trump was saying. He was just saying that you had one party, you know what I mean, that had the right to be there because they actually had a permit. Then you had other people that didn't have a permit. Okay, but he said they were fine people on both sides. Okay, but then he said there was also violence on both sides. He was basically giving both sides, like fair criticism. So to say that he's for Nazis was insane. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But once again, this is what the media does. The media tries to paint him out to be this white supremacist, this very, very racist guy, and he's not. And he's not. Okay? But that led to a lot of people believing in this bullshit. Okay? So, I mean, I never understood why Americans gave so much power to black people. I mean, that's kind of like a crazy comment there. That's kind of a crazy comment right there. I'm not even sure how to answer that comment if you want me to. I just feel that we live in a country where people should be hired because of your talents and your merits. That's it. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be based on your skin color. You should get a job. If there's someone more qualified to do the job, they should get it. That's it. That I just feel the most qualified person should get the job. That's my beliefs. You know what I mean? We should live in a country where it's not based on your skin color. The most qualified person gets the job. That's just how I see it. It's ridiculous that we care about people's feelings over people's lives. Absolutely. Well, there is a lot of cases where people unfortunately do get jobs because of their skin color. I mean, I know people don't want to admit this to be true, but it is true. And a lot of times a person does get a job. It doesn't make it a difference what industry it is, but they get a job because of their skin color. And I don't feel that's right. I don't feel that's right. I feel that people, the best person, the most educated, the most experienced person should be the person who gets the job. But anyway, I don't want to get into too much political stuff tonight. We're gonna get back to the music like really soon. I don't think a person's color has anything to do with anything, brother. Listen, I'm reading your comments right now. You talk about 13% of blacks are in movies. Listen to me. to me, it wouldn't make a difference if 90% of people that were African American were actors in every movie. Again, I want to reiterate the best person for the job. There were a lot of great African American actors. Denzel Washington, probably one of the greatest actors that ever lived in history. Okay, one of the greatest actors who ever lived is Denzel Washington. So, what are you trying to tell me that if Denzel Washington was offered a part, you have a problem with that? You know what I mean? It's. Listen to me. It's the best person for the job. That's all I'm saying to you. That's it. The conversation of color should have nothing to do with it. A person's color should have nothing to do with it. The best person for the job. That's my opinion. Yes, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I heard about that, Karina. I heard that Relentless was at her cabin. It's so sad. He was only 31 years old. So sad. So sad. His two kids and his wife. It's so sad. My heart goes out to his family. God bless his beautiful wife and his kids. But that's a matter of your taste. I mean, Al Pacino is the greatest actor of all time. Of course, I love Al Pacino. But, for you to say Denzel is nothing compared to Al Pacino, that's just your opinion. That's your opinion. That's not a fact. There are certain roles that Denzel, in my opinion, played that Al Pacino couldn't play. You know what I mean? That's just it. There's just certain movies where Al Pacino shines, and there's certain movies where Denzel Washington shines. It's a crazy conversation we're having right now, talking about actors and stuff like that. But let's do a little music. It's getting crazy, this conversation here. Just let's keep it simple. Skin color should have nothing to do with anything in our country. Okay, the best person for the job. That's it. Anthony Hopkins is an amazing actor. Best qualified gets the job. That's what I'm saying. Exactly, Samuel. That's it. It should have nothing to do with skin color. Nothing at all. And I believe that the violence in our country has a lot to do, and this is just my opinion, it has a lot to do with the media. I'm going to say that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. There's a lot of false stuff out there. There's a lot of lies. And the problem is a lot of people believe in these lies, and it turns to violence. It turns to violence. And I think that there's not enough emphasis on media, promoting false narratives and all this propaganda. There's not enough, look, at the end of the day, if someone commits a crime, we have to blame the person who commits the crime. Obviously, obviously. We have to put the fault in the person who takes the shot. That's definitely the person who has to be punished. But we cannot also be naive into believing that person was not influenced. We can't be naive. Okay? Remember something. Something has what's called an origin. It has to be a starting point. What starts the violence? How does it start? It starts somewhere. And it normally starts by people watching certain news outlets. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. And if these new news outlets are not being honest and they're lying and they're painting a picture of something that's not true, I think there should be more laws. I got to tell you, there should be some form of punishment to these people that are promoting this false propaganda. Absolutely, MSNBC, horrible, absolutely horrible, absolutely horrible. I'm just saying that if someone is promoting something that is not true, see, a lot of people wanted to say that Charlie Kirk was, for instance, against gays. He wasn't. He was not. He was not. A lot of people want to say that Charlie Kirk was racist. He was not. He was not racist. Okay. A lot of people were saying that he's against men who want to become women. He wasn't against the men who want to become women. He's just saying that there are certain things that should not be allowed. And I mean, who could argue? Like, look, if someone was a man, he was born a man. He decides he wants to become a woman, right? He chops off, his sausage, puts a dress on, wears some lipstick. Do you feel that this guy should be allowed in women's like women's locker rooms? Do you think that he should be allowed in women's bathrooms? No, but I'm just saying. Listen, if somebody wants to look, you want. I'm going to say something right now that might shock a lot of you. I honestly don't care what people do. You want me to tell you the truth? I honestly don't care what people do. If there's a guy out there and for whatever his reasons are, he wants to take off. No, but listen, he wants to take off his sausage. He wants to chop it off. I don't give a shit. Do you really care? Listen, I don't. As long as it doesn't like affect me and my family, or I really could care less if the guy wants to take his sausage off. But I don't want that guy in the bathroom with my daughter. You understand? Like, let's say I'm at a restaurant. You understand? Let's say I'm in a restaurant and my daughter Sophia has to use the restroom and this dude's in a dress. You know what I mean? You think I want that guy in the bathroom with my daughter? Absolutely not. That's all I'm saying to you. If the guy wants to take off his sausage, that's his prerogative. I don't give a shit. I don't want him in the bathroom with my daughter. That's all I'm saying to you. I think that's a pretty fair request. I don't know. What's your opinion? That's the way I see it. And as far as young children, giving young children the right to make these sex change operations, like it's crazy, right? Can you imagine like a kid's 15 years old and you're going to give them the right to take off his friggin' you know what I mean, his Captain Jack or whatever you want to call it? Come on, you're 15 years old. You don't have it's not legal. You can't get a tattoo. You're not allowed to smoke. You can't buy cigarettes. You can't buy alcohol. But you could take off your friggin' Johnson. It's nuts. And this is the stuff that they want to teach in schools. It's crazy. It's just crazy stuff, man. It's just nuts, Real Aqua. It's crazy. Samuel, you attempt to go into a restroom and you're a dude with a woman. I'm going to qualify myself and do a good job. It's crazy stuff, man. Look, I'm just saying to you that whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call these people, you're like, these people? I'm just saying that it doesn't really matter what you want to call them. Okay, they're a man. They're a man. That's it. They take off their Johnson. They put dresses on. They put whatever they are, transgender, whatever you want to call these people. They should not be in a bathroom with women. They should not be, in a woman's locker room. Look, I don't agree with this stuff. You want me to tell you the truth? I think it's unnatural. I think we live in a crazy world, man. I really do. I can't believe that people do this stuff. I think it's crazy. But listen, I think it's crazy. But this is the thing. As long as it's not, I guess what I'm saying is this. You want to hear my point? As long as it's not affecting like my children's life, your children's life, if a guy wants to chop off his Johnson, he wants to put on a dress, he wants to put on lipstick, he wants to be like that movie. You ever see that movie, Silence of the Lambs? Silence of the Lambs. Who was that guy? Remember that guy? He had the nipples. He was the nipple piercing. He was dressing up as a woman, lipstick. He was dancing. Look, no, but listen. If a person wants to do that, that's fine. But they have to understand you cannot go into a woman's bathroom. You cannot go into a woman's locker room. And in my opinion, you should not be competing in women's sports. You're a man. Buffalo Bill, exactly right. If they want to be Buffalo Bill on their own time, who cares? I see there are some people like, I'll give you an example. There are some people who are completely against everything. You know what I mean? Like they feel like it's a against God, to be homosexual. Look, I'm not like that. I'm really not like that. Look, one of my favorite piano players is Elton John. I love Elton John. Elton John is a genius. Look, it's fine. I have nothing against anybody. It's just it's when things start when you're trying to teach children a certain thing, that's when it becomes a problem. You know what I mean? That's when it becomes a problem. Put the music on, bro. Play it now. I will. I love Elton John, man. I don't have a problem with anybody, brother. I don't got a problem if a guy wants to take off his Johnson. I don't care. Just try not to. They want this to be taught in schools. They want children to feel like they have that right. Like if you were born a man, you're like, oh, you don't feel like you're a man. You want to take off your thing. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay. It's freaking crazy. This is a child. You cannot give a child that right. That's nuts. Play piano, man, Billy Joel. Yeah, we got to get back into the music, right? I think that's what the answer is, Karina. You're making a joke about it, but I actually think that's what the answer is. They should have their private restrooms. Yes, yes, that's exactly what I think we need. That's the answer. I know you're making a joke, but that is the answer. They need to have their private bathrooms. Yes, and then that's fine. That's fine. Let them do whatever they want to do. Let them chop off their Johnson, dress up like a woman, put lipstick on, but they have their private restroom. That is the answer. Yes, I agree with that 100%. And then this way, they could still be themselves, right? They could live their lives, but they have a third restroom. I think that's the answer. But you see, it's this crazy world that we live in that they want people to accept them as women, but they're not women. They were born a man. I'm sorry. That's it. But this is what happened to Charlie Kirk. Okay. What happened to him is he gained a very big audience and he had a lot of power and a lot of influence. And obviously, there was a person out there that disagreed with him, and it led to this. It led to him being assassinated. It's nuts. It's crazy. That's exactly what happened to this poor guy. And all he was trying to do was bring back American traditional values. The chicken or the egg. Oh, man. That's what I'm saying, Karina. Children should definitely not be allowed to make these decisions at such a young age. I happen to be a very open-minded person. I really don't care what people do. As long as it's not affecting my daughter, it's not affecting my son, and it's not affecting your children. But I really don't care what people do. I swear to you, I really don't care. I don't care. I don't care like what you do. Just don't affect my children, don't affect your children. But the problem is they want their rights. They want their rights. They're like, look, I was born a man. I'm taking my Johnson off, but I want you to now accept I'm a woman and I should be in women's bathrooms and I should be in women's locker rooms and I should be participating in women's sports and blah, blah, blah. No, you shouldn't. Elton made it cool to be gay. Look, I base Elton John on talent. Once again, remember we talked about things should not be based on skin color. Well, things should not be based on your sexual orientation, okay? Elton John is a genius. Elton John is a genius. He's a genius. And the fact that he's gay makes absolutely no difference to me. He's probably the greatest singer, songwriter, piano player that ever lived. You know what I mean? So I don't base it on sexual orientation. But here, we'll do a little Elton here. I got a sore throat, by the way, but anyway. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can I'll buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in the traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. Thank you. I have a little bit of a sore throat right now, though. But thank you very much. A little bit of a sore throat. Thank you. Yeah, Elton John's the greatest, man. Elton is the greatest. She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. Lonely out in space on such a time. I can't sing right now. My throat is shot, man. Those are too high notes, you know? On such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at home. Oh, no, 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 I'm a rocket man. Yeah, I'm still getting over a sore throat. Those are ridiculous high notes, man. Yeah. My throat is shot tonight. But yeah, I'm a psycho picking these notes, these songs to sing. Oh, man. Yeah, that's great. I have a bad sore throat tonight. Blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band. No, it's a rock chord. Pretty eyes, too high, these notes. I have a sore throat tonight, and I'm hitting the most insane friggin' notes right now. Well, I've been playing since I'm 10 years old. I had a couple of teachers. A lot of it I was self-taught, though. I can sing a lot better than this, guys. You got to forgive me. My sinuses are killing me tonight. I had a Billy Joel tribute band, growing up, when I was in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, New York. Uptown riding in your limousine with your fine Park Avenue clothes. You had the Dom Perignon in your hand, spoon up your nose. Ooh, when you wake up in the morning with your head on fire, your eyes too bloody to see. Go on and cry in your coffee, but don't you come bitching to me, because you had to be a big shot teacher. You had to open up your mouth. You had to be a big shot teacher. All your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. So much fun to be around. You had to have the white hot spotlight. You had to be a big shot last night. Whoa. Big shot there. Imagine. I don't know the words. Was it? If I'm going to do it, let me get the words. 1 second. We'll do this one. We'll do this one for Charlie Kirk. We'll do Imagine by John Lennon for Charlie Kirk. Again, I appreciate your patience. I have a little sore throat tonight. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding and your patience. So we're going to do Imagine for Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace. A true patriot, an amazing, amazing man, a legend. God bless you, Charlie Kirk. God bless your family. You guys sing it with me, Twisted. For Charlie Kirk. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or to die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. That's for Charlie Kirk. God bless you, Charlie Kirk. God bless you and your family. We got to end political violence in our country. That should be the world that we all live in. I started playing the piano around 10 years old. I'm 47, 37 years. That's the world that we should live in. God bless you, Charlie Kirk. We're going to do another one for Charlie. Again, thank you for your patience. Got a little sore throat tonight. Let's do Let It Be by the Beatles for Charlie Kirk. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Although they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. A little bit of a sore throat tonight, but there's another one for you. A little bit of a sore throat. I could do it a little slower if you wanted. It was a little. So, what do you want to do? A little slower? How's that tempo? Better tempo? Sustain pedal. Yeah, I got to get a new one. You guys notice everything, don't you, man? You guys notice everything. I got to go buy a new one. It's only $30. It's not a lot of money. I just haven't got the chance. There really isn't a local music store around here. I got to find one. I got to go buy a new sustain pedal. But yes, thank you for noticing everything. To be determined. Notices everything. This guy. Forget about it. That's the ending of the song Layla, which it was in the movie Goodfellas, one of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, I'm Italian, all right. I'm 100% Italian. Matter of fact, Apefather is a gangster, man. You want to hear one of my original songs? I'll show it to you. Apefather is a gangster, baby. Apefather's family is from Palermo, Sicily. Let's go. My family is from Palermo, Sicily. My grandma told me stories about the old country, how we came to Brooklyn, New York, while I'm eating spaghetti with a spoon and fork, drinking wine, salute gin tonic. My Uncle Paulie and my Aunt Connie served an Italian feast, yes sir. The Apefather's a gangster. Learn how to score every day making cash. I built up a very respectable stash. I don't ask for anything, I just take what is mine, just like a porterhouse steak. Cooked medium rare with a bottle of wine that's rare. In my life, I don't even have a care. It's not even fair how I live. The Apefather's a gangster. That's my song called Apefather's a Gangster. Forget about it. Italy is the best. 100%. Never rat on your friends. Always keep your nose clean. Be a good earner. And always follow the rules. We survive by our rules. Apefather is a gangster. Forget about it. Forget about it. Apefather grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I'm going to do a song called Brooklyn Funk here. This is an original jazz song I wrote. Tell me what you guys think of this one. How's this here? Peter Luger's. Oh my God, I love Peter Luger's. Favorite steakhouse in the world. I love their steak sauce. I use it on every barbecue. I love Peter Luger. Oh my God, the best in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Greatest steak of all time. Forget about it. I'm going to be finishing up soon here. Yep, Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Peter Luger's is the greatest. If you're ever in Brooklyn, you want to go to the best Italian restaurant, you got to go to L&B Spumoni Gardens. It's known for their famous square pizza, but you get the chef dinner in there. It's Stillwell Avenue, 86th Street, Gravesend, Brooklyn, New York. You got to definitely, Peter Luger's is the greatest, but everybody's got to try L&B Spumoni Gardens. Forget about it. The absolute greatest restaurant in Brooklyn, New York. Frankie and Johnny's, yeah, sure. I'm going to get going, guys. It's a little late here. It's about 1:30 my time. I'm going to relax a little bit, but I will be back soon. Please like and subscribe to the Apefather's channel. I really appreciate all of your support. I love all of you. Twisted Tea. Have a wonderful night. Everybody, CeeLo, you know, you're all the best here. Andre, appreciate all of you tonight. God bless all of you. V for victory. Take care. As we say in Italian, we say buonanotte. You want to see the Apefather as a gangster? Check out this picture right here. That's the Apefather as a gangster picture right there. There it is. Ciao. Arrivederci. Ciao.